is. It's having a house is the American dream. I mean, having a sense of belonging and having your own is a wonderful thing. It really is. It's a wonderful thing.
The Homeownership Center promotes sustainable homeownership for low and moderate income Minnesotans through the development and delivery of quality, standardized education, counseling, and related support services.
In January of 1994, the newly created Home Ownership Center offered its first class to a group of community-based organizations located in Minneapolis and St. Paul. Since the center's grand opening, ribbons were cut and the speeches made. Over 40,000 Minnesota households have been educated and counseled by the now 39 different community organizations operating across Minnesota. This remarkable success would not have been possible without the vision and dedication of the center's founding organizations, particularly the Family Housing Fund. Missy Thompson, who worked with the fund to bring interested parties together to create the center, recalls the difficulties faced by city residents before the center opened its doors.
And unfortunately, it was really the consumer who was bearing the brunt of this desire to help them, because there was no central door. There was no way of ensuring that the quality was there, that the organizations that were providing the counseling were adequately funded. So it was kind of a dysfunctional system where nobody was really talking to each other. And again, it was the consumer who was bearing the brunt of the problem.
It did not take long for success to be achieved. People's lives and attitudes were being changed. Board member Mike Haley, who was also there in the beginning, sensed this change and its impact on the community as a whole.
This system of education and counseling, together with a variety of public-spirited lenders and nonprofit organizations that have come to the table to provide products and services and to support this education and counseling activity, it's no accident we have the highest homeownership rate in the country. It has all come together, and this is a critical part of it. The Homeownership Center, then the education, and the educators and counselors with which they work are a big part of our success story in this state.
Being a first-time homebuyer can be a challenging experience. In this case, Jennifer kept running into roadblocks that made it seem impossible. Then she met with a homestretch housing counselor, and that made all the difference.
And I love the fact that all of the walls and ceilings and floors are mine. I don't have to share them with anyone, knowing that I have so much more privacy than I did living in an apartment. It just makes all the difference in the world. She was so optimistic and she was so excited for me, kind of crunching the numbers and looking over my credit scores and made me feel very good about kind of all that I've gone through to come to this point, financially, just taking care of my credit. And when she kind of gave me the final number and said, you know, you can do this and we'll help you. And if you have any problems in the future, we will help you with that. And so that was a very exciting moment for me when she and I sat down together and we went through that. It took at least 2 hours to just go through it all. And that was a very defining moment because I knew that I could do it.
Trust was a big issue for the Arkaran family of Minneapolis. Other family members had been treated unfairly in the past, and they were now wary of the financial system. The knowledge they gained in the homestretch class gave them the confidence they needed to move forward.
But it just feels a lot different to have a house, that you call your own. You don't feel like you're throwing your money away every month. And if you want to fix it, you feel good doing that because it's yours and you're bettering your life,
I tell everyone that I meet, take the class if you can, the PRG class, because it's a world of difference actually when you get down to a closing table or anything. I was still asking questions that I remember from the class. Now, is this the same interest rate as the other one? Because the APR and all that. stuff that we had no idea about before. I was still asking those questions when we were at the closing table.
They were probably the first people we thought were on our side. You know, everyone else, we were so afraid, like, are they taking advantage of us? Or they always look for their own interest, which of course that's business, so okay, fine. But when you go to the class, they're looking out for you, and that was the first time that we came across that.
Oh, okay, great. But I need a copy of it because I need that contract, knowing that all parties agreed to this, because that's what allows us to lock in your interest rate.
But back home, when people buy housing or home ownership is through cash. You know, it's everything cash based. Here's a different system, which is mortgage you have to get into. And the whole process of how to do that is completely different. So that's the main challenge for this community for this time, just to understand the process of home ownership. Where do you start? Who are the people who can trust, who can explain to you the system, and eventually the end result of getting a home. And I think that is why we were able to connect with and work with Home Ownership Center. The essence is simple, really, that it's about people, it's about human beings getting ahead. If we all get ahead, if they get ahead, that's the bottom line for us, and we are very pleased so far.
After a sudden illness, Shirley lost her job and faced the risk of losing the home that housed her and her disabled foster children. A mortgage foreclosure prevention counselor helped her to keep her home and changed her life.
You know what? Having your own house, it makes you feel proud, and it gives you a freedom. You build up your equity. I never had a job where I would have retirement or, you know, pension and stuff. So, you know, having a sense of your house and stuff builds up that equity and stuff. So when you get older, you will have some money. You won't be totally broke. It's like a savings account when you got the equity in your house. I felt really bad. I felt kind of shame. When I came into the lobby, I did feel kind of embarrassed. Oh God, what if these people won't listen to me? Oh God, what if they can't help me? Then what do I do? Where do I move? And all this other kind of stuff. So, you know, she calmed all that and took all the fears away, because I was truly scared. I was scared. And get so overwhelmed. You know, people, they get so overwhelmed, they just sit there, and then the next thing you know, the sheriff's coming and they're getting out because they're scared. They don't know what to do. They're ashamed and stuff like that. But, you know, I suggest, don't be ashamed. Don't lose your house that you that you work so hard to keep. Please don't lose your house, whatever you do. There are people out here that are willing to help you keep your house.
These are just a few of the thousands of stories that represent the work of the Home Ownership Center and their partners. Through the dedicated work of educators, counselors, industry partners, and staff, the Home Ownership Center will continue to create a Minnesota in which all residents have access to training and support services regardless of geography, culture, language, or disability.
You know, and you need people to listen to you, even if they can't help you, you need somebody to listen to you and stuff. And if they can't help you, put you in the right direction. And she put me with the right direction. She listened to me, she cared about me, she was sensitive to my needs and everything. So